Alright, let's look at Gangs of New York, the Martin Scorsese movie from 2002 set in 1800s New York. So, this film is about a boy who loses his father during a fight between Catholics and Protestants. So he goes into this kind of education home. He stays until he's old enough, then when he gets out, he comes back and sort of joins the gang of his father's killer. They develop a sort of father-son type of bond with each other. He goes around just doing illegal jobs for him, you know, sort of getting in with his crew, with his gang, you know, and it's so he can get close to this guy who killed his dad, so that he can carry out his revenge, you know, so that he can kill him. It's quite stylistic, it's unique, it's very colorful, but his story is quite simple. Like, it's nothing that hasn't been done before, you know? It's kind of like The Lion King meets Peaky Blinders, but there's more color to it, you know what I mean? The film's audience sort of seemed to think it was okay back when it released in late 2002, early 2003. It had a limited release in December 2002, and then sort of the more widespread release in January of 2003. The audience scores shows an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.5 on Metacritic, which is the same as the critic scores. The critic score on Metacritic is 75. However, it holds a 72% with critics on Rotten Tomatoes, which is, you know, it's a little bit of a difference, but it's still sort of in that same kind of range of and ballpark of review score. It's still good, you know. The film made over 183 million on a 97 million budget. Now, if you add another half onto that, or if you double that to account for the marketing of the film, this sort of puts it in kind of a little gray area in terms of how well it did financially. It's sort of in the middle of either it flopped or it broke even. It is quite violent, it is a little bloody. So it holds an 18 rating here in the UK and Ireland. That could have a negative effect on its box office because that's less people to go and see it. You know, maybe if it was a little bit more tame, they kind of toned down the violence a bit, they maybe could have got it to 15 and then it could have grossed a little bit more, and then maybe it could have been a guaranteed success, who knows. I mean, despite it being violent, it isn't really just sort of killing people left and right in bloody, you know, brutal ways. It, you know, that's sort of more saved for the end, kind of in the third act. Most of the film is pretty okay. It's all right. So yeah, it's not that bad. It isn't just like constantly gang warfare, but it has moments, you know. Maybe if it had been lowered to a 15 with just a little bit less violence and a little bit less gore, then maybe it could have done better and it could have been successful, but who knows, honestly. I mean, that probably could have got more asses in seats for a widespread January release, you know. This brings me back to my point about the violence in this film. You know, as I said, it's not all the way through, but when it's there, it's there. It has its moments, and, you know, but it also has fun moments too. Like it's quite a fun movie in a sort of way, a weird way. Most of it happens towards the end, like I mentioned, and it is fun, but it's not the sole purpose of the film. It's not just there to be glorifically violent. I don't even know if that's a word. Is it? It is now. It is more about the emotional connection that Billy, Daniel Day-Lewis's character, and Valen, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, seem to form when Valen is trying to get close to Billy to try and be, you know, his friend, and so he can kill him and get revenge for his father. It very much focuses on the relationship that they have throughout the film, that they form throughout the film through their bond that develops as the movie goes. You sort of think that maybe Valen won't go through with getting revenge on Billy, that he'll just sort of become his surrogate son in a way. But then, of course, the third act happens, and they do fight, and they do come to blows, and then it gets really violent then. The film has some tonal conflict kind of going on in it. You know, it's a dark story, it's a dark time for people. It's bright, you know, it's colorful, it pops. The color just pops, and the vibrancy of everything just kind of pops. It's strange, but it's very unique. I haven't seen a film do something like that before, or even since Gangs of New York. It feels like two different things kind of stitched together, and it works, but it also doesn't. There's different parts to it. It's kind of hard to explain. It's a little bit finicky. Other than that, though, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's good. I had a good time with it, you know. I could probably rewatch this just fine. I didn't have to be with a group of friends or, you know, drink alcohol to enjoy it. I could just enjoy it, no problem, by myself, and that was fine. That was fine. So, thumbs up from me. So have you seen it? Do you like it? Do you not? Let me know, because I want to know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Peace. See you later. Bye.